The fifth and final bone for today's revision about the bones of the upper limb is the ulna, one of the two long bones in the forearm, the medial bone exactly. The ulna is the only long bone with its head on the lower aspect or the distal end. So this is the proximal end of the ulna, and this is the distal end of the ulna. On the proximal end, we have two processes separated by a notch. This is what we call the cronoid process. This is what we call the olecranon process, and in between we have the trochlear notch. This is the shaft of the ulna. On the shaft we have a sharp interosseous border on the lateral side of the ulna. This is the head of the ulna, and this is the styloid process of ulna. This is the neck of ulna. This is the posterior border of the ulna. Identifying the side of the ulna is a very easy matter. All you need to do is put the trochlear notch superior and anterior. Superior and anterior. Put the interosseous border laterally. The trochlear notch above and anterior. The interosseous border laterally. In this manner, we have a left ulna. For the attachment of muscles, the first muscle attached to the ulna is attached on the top of the olecranon process. This is the insertion of the triceps muscle. Insertion of the triceps. On the medial aspect of the olecranon process, we have the attachment of flexor carpi ulnaris. Flexor carpi ulnaris. The attachments for the cronoid process. This is the interosseous border. As you can see, the interosseous border is separated, forming a V-shaped fossa. A V-shaped fossa here. This is what we call the supinator fossa. The posterior aspect of this fossa, the posterior border of this fossa, is the supinator crest. So, the tuberosity of the cronoid process, we have the insertion of the brachialis muscle, rotating the bone laterally. In the supinator fossa, we have the origin of the supinator muscle from the supinator fossa and supinator crest. Behind the supinator fossa, we have the insertion of the third muscle, which is the anconeus. So, three muscles attached here: brachialis, supinator, and anconeus. Again, brachialis, supinator, and anconeus. This is for the upper end. As for the shaft, we have a single muscle attached to the front of the shaft, which is the flexor digitorum profundus. Flexor digitorum profundus. At the lower end of the shaft, we have the origin of the pronator quadratus. By rotating the bone and inspecting the dorsal aspect of the bone. Attach it to the posterior border. Attach it to the posterior border here. We have what we call the ulnar aponeurosis. The ulnar aponeurosis. The ulnar aponeurosis is a site of attachment for flexor digitorum profundus, flexor and extensor carpi ulnaris muscles. The ulnar aponeurosis is another attachment for flexor digitorum profundus, flexor and extensor carpi ulnaris muscles. Between the posterior border and the interosseous border, we have three muscles attached to the back of the ulna. The first muscle attached to the back of the ulna, we have the abductor pollicis longus. In the middle part, we have the extensor pollicis longus. In the distal part, we have the extensor indicis. Again, from above downwards, or from proximal to distal, we have the abductor pollicis longus, we have the extensor pollicis longus, and distally we have the extensor indicis. Between the head of the ulna and the styloid process, there is a groove related to the tendon of extensor carpi ulnaris. Thank you for watching the revision of the bones of the upper limb. I hope these videos facilitate the revision and the study of the bones of the upper limb, preparing for the practical exams. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe for more videos.